Like many collectors, Andrew Williams pays for his hobby by occasionally dealing in toys on the side. Though he buys new toys to sell, he collects mainly older toys, particularly monsters from the 60s and 70s. Andrew was already well into his adult life before he rediscovered his old love.
I think I really got started collecting toys when I was on vacation in Tennessee. There was a toy museum there, and my fiance and I were looking around in this toy museum, and I spotted these A-high monster figures that I had when I was a kid, and all these memories came back to me, and I thought, wow, these were really, cool things. And after we got home from vacation, I started to think about those things more, and I decided to see if I could find them. And over the next couple of years, I ended up actually getting a complete set of those, and from then it was just, lots of other toys that I started collecting because I became interested in it.
The Colorforms outer spacemen are sought after by many collectors. They have a special importance for Andrew, who went so far as to build a special diorama for them.
I can recall once going into a venture store looking for Colorforms outer spacemen with my mother, because they had released a Colorforms actual activity set with the little plastic pieces that you put on the background, and I remember that my uncle had some of those figures, and I really wanted them all of a sudden. So I can remember searching the toy stores for them and never finding them.
Though they proved a disappointment in stores, Nightmare Before Christmas toys have become a runaway hit with collectors, including Andrew.
The animation was at a new level. It was beautifully made. In addition to that, it brought back a lot of the memories of the old, the old Rankin Bass animation Christmas stories of my childhood, and I really got a kick out of it. And as soon as the toys came out, I thought the toys were very well made, and I really liked them, and I just snagged up as many as I could. I think toys have got more gadgets, and they have to have 150 different weapons and that kind of stuff now, and they have to light up or blow up or something. And when I was a kid, it was just they were more simple, but I think they had more personality and more character. And I enjoy the older 60s and 70s toys a lot more than the stuff that comes out now.
For self-proclaimed pack rat Bob Monco, toy dealing is a job. He travels around the country, state to state, show to show, earning a living by selling toys. Life on the toy circuit can be a tough way to make a buck.
Not really as easy as most people think. And, well, last time I checked, I'm still not living in a $500,000 mansion. Been collecting toys for about 16 years. Started picking them up back in right around 1980. Just going to the store, buying the Mego dolls as they were going on clearance sale there, and all other superhero-related pieces and monster items. And just over the years, kind of expanded out to picking up cooler things, animation cells, some movie posters, a couple of props here and there, whatever kind of caught my fancy. 10 years ago, people looked at you really weird if you said you collected toys. They're like, why would you want to? Well, now it's very acceptable, just like with comic books. Comic books gained acceptability, and all of a sudden the toys just seem to follow, because most of the toys that are out there are comic book related or science fiction or horror related. As far as the Universal monsters go, the creature is the only thing I collect. I really don't care about the Frankenstein, Dracula, Wolfman, Mummy, per se, just the creature. But I've always liked giant monsters that came and destroyed cities, and the creature was not a giant monster, but he looked like a monster. He didn't look like a man who had fangs. It's like, ooh, that was scary. Oh, I've always been fond of the wall plaque I'd picked up. It's a Vacuform, like approximately 2 foot by 3 foot wall plaque that has the same artwork as the wall it did. Came out in '61. You could order from the back of Famous Monsters magazine. And probably, since it was a three-dimensional Vacuform piece, about 2 inches in depth, probably most of them got even broken and damaged in shipping. The aquarium toy came out in '71 by Penplex. Just really a neat toy you were supposed to put in the aquarium. It wasn't actually licensed through Universal. Henceforth, there's a couple extra like ridges and added onto his stomach, a little bit of different coloration. But it's obvious it was the creature. It was based on the Aurora model kit pose. Godzilla is just, what they said, he's the king of the monsters. He's just too cool. I mean, it's large, you know, green dinosaur-like character that's pretty much indestructible. And some of the toys just are incredibly cool. This piece is Japanese Shogun Warrior Godzilla. It roars. It's similar to the US Mattel version. It has the fist of fire, and the feet are about the same with the rollers on it. But the figure itself looks completely different. It actually has the large plastic spines, and the head is molded completely different, and the tail looks like a Godzilla, a big 2-foot plastic Godzilla. Zeroids, their toy line came out in like 68, 69 for my deal. There was 4 different actual robots plus an alien that would self-destruct. And they were, you know, one of the first actual small plastic space toys that came out from, like, actually motorized, that were not like an actual robot figure.
These are the fabled second series Colorforms aliens. Only 5 sets were produced for display at the 1969 Toy Fair. Bob Manco is one of the few people in the world to own some of these priceless gems.
The Colorform Outer Spaceman. There's some prototypes from the second series that never got released. I have like 4 fairly decent ones, plus one that's missing a few parts out of the 6 that they did. It's just something that was really cool, and when I saw them, I had to have them. I've had so many different items that it's got to be something that's really rare or hard to find for me to really have an interest in it. I mean, if you've had something 25 times, you know it's not that rare, and you can always go ahead and find another one if you want to spend the money on it. Whereas, you know, the item that you can only find 1 or 2 of ever, maybe in a 10 or 15-year period, that's the item that piques your curiosity and your interest. You know, you can't just walk down to Walmart and buy it if you happen to have whatever the dollar amount might be. The point gets where you only want the really rare items, because if you just kept everything, well, let's face it, you'd have to have a large, large mansion to put all the pieces in.